What's good, family? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So we got some breaking news regarding your man's Anthony John Stewart. Super duper leak news now. I spoke to one of my dons who works alongside Eddie Hearn at Matchroom, and he's told me, passed me the pattern. Anthony Johnston and Team AJ Eddie Hearn have reached out to Daniel Dubois' team, Frank Warren, essentially looking for the handout. Basically, Eddie Hearn's put a whole bunch of emails out to all of them top mid-level dudes, essentially prospecting to see if he can get a big payday selling the last of his soul, if you get what I mean. In fact, I'll explain what I mean. For example, Zhang Willie, he just fought, and really he beat the big hype job. I can't believe all the hype jobs, man. What's that, a French Don? Yeah? French Don just got bust up by someone. Tony Yoka. Oh, the next best thing. Tony Yoka. And really, gotta be honest here, the gold medal at the Olympics is literally a curse. Ever since Audley Harrison, the gold medal at the Olympics has started, ever since him, yeah, it means nothing. Audley, aka Fraudley Harrison. Look what happened to him. Then you had AJ. Look what happened to him. Then you got Tony Yoka. Look what happened to him. Then you got, what's that, Hergovich. Look what happened to him. These guys are soft, man. They're big and they're buff. Listen, we've never seen people as big and as buff as AJ, as big and as buff as Hergovich. And guess what? They all look like models as well, don't they? Hergovich is a 10 out of 10 model. Calvin Klein model. But he ain't got no minerals, has he? He's in there with a 40-year-old Zhang, and he no oomph. Same as Tony Yoka, Tony Bumka. All the hype, big as you like, gold medalist, goes in there, juicy gold medalist at that, goes in there. Got nothing to say. The sport's gone mad. I'm telling you now. I don't know whether the cabal, I think the cabal possibly are pumping these dudes. They're rigging these dudes' water supplies with some next estrogenic chemicals. Must be. I can't understand it. These are the biggest and most buff men in the most, in the most alpha sport in the world. The most alpha, the most masculine activity a man can do. And these are the biggest of that. And look at, and even Fury, to be honest. Fury is clearly at the pinnacle. But still, his behaviours outside of the ring, zesty. There's nothing masculine about the way Fury acts outside the ring, begging for attention. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I just don't understand it. These men really should be the most examples of what masculinity means in the world. And instead, bunch of zesty, weirdo, having-ass dudes. Anyway, I say that because, like I was saying, AJ, obviously, he got nowhere to go now. Yeah, he ain't got no belts. If you paid him to have belts, he got nothing. So I've heard on the grapevine, Eddie Hearn, let's not forget as well, people, it's not a big mystery here. Eddie Hearn was contacting Wilder, begging for it, before he lost. So it's not a stretch to see that, wait a minute, Eddie Hearn, before AJ lost, was already begging Wilder. So it's not a stretch to believe, and never mind a stretch, my sources have told me Eddie Hearn, after the loss now, has been emailing Frank Warren, emailing Zhang from China, emailing Hergovich, and basically saying, listen, we've got AJ, he's a big name, which one of you guys wants to put up a big bag to have a go on him? That's what I'm hearing now. I'm hearing Eddie Hearn's treating AJ like a cheap hooker. Yeah, which one of you, man, wants to have a go on AJ now? Eddie Hearn's literally just whoring him out. That's what I've heard. AJ's name now is being whored out. Let's not forget, people, for example, Zhang has 1.5 billion Chinese dons. Imagine how big that would be. That's the point. So Eddie Hearn's reaching out to the People's Republic of China saying, listen, we've got AJ, he's a big global star. How much do you want to pay for Zhang to have a go on him? Yeah? They've reached out to Hergovic. He's got his little European cult following. Yeah? So all the European cult following dons. Boom. How much you want to pay to have a go on Johnston? Frank Warren, Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce even potentially. But you know what Frank Warren's like? Frank Warren is a bit snaky in my opinion. Frank Warren's massively prioritised Dubois over Joyce, even though Joyce topped him, which in my opinion is completely wrong. However, the reason that is the case, for a while, I couldn't understand it. Why is Frank Warren sucking Dubois off and mugging Joe Joyce off? Well, obviously, Joe Joyce, 40 years old. There's no longevity there, is there? Dubois 22. Frank Warren's sitting there, ching in his eyes, thinking, damn, potentially he's got 15 years of heavyweight knockout paydays, which are the best kind of paydays. So I've heard Eddie Hearn reach out to Frank Warren and said, how much are you going to pay for me to let Dubois have a quick go on AJ? Because let's call a spade here. There was a time Frank Warren was looking to pay Dave Allen. I remember it. I remember Dave Allen being offered like 300 grand to be food for Dubois. And that's Dave Allen. He's not even never been on pay-per-view. He's never even, he's done nothing. And Frank Warren was prepared to pay heaps just to absorb that clout. So Eddie Hearn's out there now thinking, damn, maybe, to be honest with you, it's not a bad strategy from either side. I can see the value in that. If Dubois knocks out AJ, does that put him on that pay-per-view stage then? Because let's be real now. And that's what I do have to admit. This game isn't as simple as just being big and buff. Because AJ really is a robot. But so is Dubois. But for some reason, Dubois just hasn't captivated the public's imagination. Dubois just as big, just as buff. I guess to be fair, Dubois lost. That's a big thing. He took an L. Early in his career, AJ was undefeated. For the best part of AJ's career, he was undefeated. That's what builds the imagination. That superhero imagination. Dubois hasn't got that. We know Dubois, he broken already at 22 years old. So it's kind of like, oops. Also, AJ got lucky in the Olympics. The whole London Olympics thing. It's bad enough being Olympic champion. When you're a UK London Olympic champion, that's like leagues above. I'd say being a hometown Olympic gold medalist is probably worth double or triple what being a normal Olympic gold medalist is. So, for example, if you win the Rio 2020 or 2016 Olympics, that was worth half or only a third of what winning the London Olympics was worth, if you get what I'm saying, in terms of marketability, in terms of commercial value. So AJ was really just struck lightning. That said, Eddie Hearn right now has reached out to Frank Warren. Because we know Frank Warren has got that Bob Arum bag, ESPN bag, /BT bag. Eddie Hearn saying, listen, boom. Daniel, how much you going to put up? Listen, if Eddie Hearn if Frank Warren, can put up 30, 40 mil, you best believe AJ is going to be taking a wicking from Dubois. And I'm sorry, but in my mind, unfortunately, having seen how AJ's been scared to death of Usyk, who's half his size, I just don't believe. I think I'm sorry, people, at heavyweight division, AJ's finished. Because we've just watched AJ twice now be scared to death of a man who can't punch, who doesn't load up, who does pity-patty shots, and AJ was still scared to death. So what do you think is going to happen, when AJ gets in front of Dubois, who's going to be in there throwing heavy leather? And it's not as if you can say, well, YB. There was a time, you could say, well, YB, AJ's got the one punch, but he hasn't now. I'm sorry. AJ has not got a puncher's chance anymore. Because if he did, why didn't we see Usyk seriously hurt? Never did. We never saw AJ seriously hurt Usyk to the head. And that's the end. That's the start and end of people. AJ can't even seriously hurt people anymore. So it's like, Dubois will go in there the way to beat AJ, yeah, is go in there and rain heavy fire. He will fold so quick, you won't believe it. That's the blueprint. Go in there and rain heavy fire early. He will fold. Big facts. And I actually think I backed Dubois to knock AJ out, to be quite frank. Bottom line, knock him out within 9 rounds, I reckon. Because if AJ tries to box Dubois, I just don't see it working for him. Although he might be able to get on the bike. AJ might be able to get in there and stall the fight and just run. Like he did versus Ruiz. AJ might be able to go in there like he did with Double Cheese Ruiz and just run for dear life. That is a possibility, in all fairness. Anyway, man, listen. You got the leak. There's some news here. Eddie Hearn declared that he wants... That's the point I'm making. Eddie Hearn's declared he wants to. And don't forget, this news is from Benson. So putting all the sources together. Eddie Hearn has declared he wants AJ... Eddie Hearn has declared he wants to whore out AJ backside to the top 4 fighters. Yeah, the top 4 bulls. Listen, AJ right now is what's the female horse called? Either way, AJ right now, yeah, is Eddie Hearn's female horse. And Eddie Hearn's prospecting all of the top bulls in the area, all of the top bucks. Yeah, Frank Warren, what bucks have you got? Yeah, I've got a great lassie. I've got a great big female lassie. Yeah? Bring your top bull in and have a go on him. Let's see if we can make some good babies right now. And the babies is the cash. Yeah? That's what Eddie Hearn's saying. Eddie Hearn's saying, listen, I've got a great female stallion. Her name's Antoinette Johnston. Yeah? What bulls have you got? Bring some bulls in and we can make some great cash babies. We can rob the bank. Simple as that. Yeah? And that's where this rumour came from about 4 fights. From what I've heard, it's not about 4 fights. It's about AJ's name has been put out there to the top up-and-coming, to 4 names, to 4 top up-and-coming names. As I said, Zhang for the whole China stick. Yeah? The other dude, the European dude for the whole European stick. Whatever, Dubois for the whole big buff Nick stick. Big buff UK Nick stick. Yeah? I'm sure there was another one as well. Jared Anderson. Bob Arum, Jared Anderson. For the whole, you know what I'm saying? The new American heavyweight shtick. Those are the 4 who AJ's been linked with from my sources. It's a shame, but the problem is, you see, AJ, he's a zombie. He don't think for himself. He should be saying right now, Eddie, sit down somewhere. Yeah? I need to build up properly. What AJ needs right now, yeah, is to build up properly. He needs to go away, not be sending his biggest check. He needs to go away, number 1, sack all of his team, and bring the YB in. That's what it is. YB ain't forget about it. You're food. For whatever you do, you're going to be food. That's the first thing. Sack your bum team. Sack this goober here. I mean, look at this footage here quickly. AJ's in there rolling and rocking and doing bum-ass combinations. When did you... answer the question. When did you, man, see any of this stuff going on? Just tell me. Show me the round you saw this stuff going on. Show me it. Go on. Show me the round you saw all these combinations and slip and rolls. Go on. Show me it. Just show me. Send me the link. Send me the link where you saw AJ doing all this random ass shit. Yeah, you ain't see that. It's like, what's this guy training for? Fernando, when have you ever seen Usyk sit on the ropes? Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'll tell you what we'll do, AJ. Today, AJ, we're going to train. I'll sit on the ropes, static as you like, and you just bang away combinations. In my opinion, AJ's whole camp should have been based on cutting the fucking ring off. Because even Chisora, who's a much more pressure fighter than AJ, he had trouble really cutting the ring off. That's the way you got to start. It's no good loading up with heavy shots on the pads if, number 1, you're scared to throw them. Number 2, you can't cut the ring off. And by the way, AJ never cut the ring off the whole night. And that's half the reason he couldn't land on Usyk. Heavy shots are great when your opponent is in the right position, i.e. nowhere to run to. That's what Canelo does great. He cuts the ring off, corners his opponent, and then lets heavy leather fly. AJ, throughout his career, really tries to throw heavy leather in the center of the ring, and that's why he looks sloppy. Because all someone has to do is take a few steps backwards, and you're swinging, hitting thin air. Basic boxing 101. Anyway, listen. AJ, rather than whoring himself out some more to the next up-and-coming buck, he needs to sack his team, bring me in, and then build up properly. Unfortunately, he just ain't going to do it. And even if he does, he ain't going to bring the right trainer in. So all he'll do, AJ will rehire Fernando, rehire Garcia, and the minute he goes in there with someone decent, he'll fall apart. That's the best case. The worst case is that he's going to end up getting whooped by some random bum. Oops. I mean, look at this crap. Look at this. Fucking hell. Look at this. What is this? Never seen anything like this crap, Unbelievable. Where did AJ find this goober at? Where did they find him at? You're flapping a thing in his face. Fucking hell. What's that about? What's that doing? I'm sorry, but I've never seen someone punching. Fair enough. If you're trying to do defense here, at least throw it straight at AJ's head. Because all of Usyk's shots, for the most part, are coming straight. Usyk's never throwing shots, patting AJ on the top of his head, is he? I don't get that. Punches will never be raining down on your head like you're doing there. So what's that proving? Oh, yeah, we can all do that with a flume dropping on your head. We can all, oh, look, he's slipping. No, he's not slipping. Yeah? Oh, you're not slipping any punch that's possible to come at you. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's slap him on top of the head, which is something that never happens in boxing. Yeah, great shout. Clown. So many clowns in this game, and that's why I said for a long time, AJ is not high IQ. And that's why most boxers aren't. And that's why traditionally, historically, trainers were brought in by managers. Managers and promoters, they care about their athletes. They naturally want the best, highest return on their investment. Which means they're incentivized and they're a stakeholder to, or really a shareholder to, their athletes' careers. And with that being the case, you want to manipulate as much as possible outcome for your fighters, in as much as you don't want your fighters having a shit trainer, because that's no good. But Eddie Hearn came along and started sucking the fighters off as if they're savants. Oh yeah, I give the fighters all the power. Fighters don't have any experience in the game, they just don't. Promoters and managers, that's what they're called, managers. They manage. They have years and decades of experience. They know, okay, they know what kind of fighter they've got, and they match him up accordingly with the knowledge of the training, or of the trainers. Okay, I've got this kind of fighter, and I've been in the game 20 years, and this kind of fighter works well with this kind of trainer. Boom. That's how it used to work. These days, oh no, my name's Eddie Hearn, and I'm a cuckold, and AJ, who clearly hasn't got a clue what he's doing, I give him all the power. How's that working out? I'm sorry. How's it working out? No good. That's how it's working out. In my opinion, the fact AJ chose Fernando and Robert Garcia, it just shows how much he doesn't understand about what he's doing. Bottom line. He ain't got a clue what he's doing. And now, once again, Eddie Hearn is going to be there for more downfall. Just trying to sell AJ to the next up-and-coming buck. It's a big shame, but end of the day, I ain't talking about this no more. Let's forget about AJ. He finished. It's over for him. Yeah? It's big over. It's been over for Johnson. Big man ting. Like button. Subscribe. And your boy will be back. No doubt about it. 100%.